Hello everyone, here is Tawqir Nasir. As we have started the series on C-Swift 3.1 for entire book, today we are going to start the section 2, chapter 2 of C-Swift 3.1 named as Welding Terminologies and Definitions. In this chapter, you will learn the terms and definitions which are normally used in welding field, the types of weld, how many types of weld are being utilized in the industry, the type of joints, which joints we normally prepared for the specific welding, and for types of joint normally the standard which we took from ISO is 15607. Feature of completed weld, which features needs are necessary for completion any welding. Weld preparation means related to joint, how we have to prepare the weld. Then we have the size of butt welds. What is butt weld? Size of butt welded. What are the terminologies in butt welding? The next we will cover the fillet weld. What is fillet weld? Which terms are using in the fillet welding, etc. Then we have the welding position, slope and rotation. Which positions we normally prefer for specific job? What is the angle of electrode, what is the angle of piece, how we have to perform the welding, what should be the speed, etc. Then we have weaving, how we have to perform the welding, means operation of electrode. Dear friends, if you didn't subscribe my channel, then it's requested you to subscribe it, press the bell icon and like button, also give your feedback and your precious opinion then how I have to improve this session series. This course is completely free of cost, so I am expecting the support and same response from your end. Let's start. As you know, we have weld. What is weld? Weld is actually to combination of two or more than two parts of any metal. Either they have same coherence or non-metals to metal, metals to metals, etc. Whatever the properties of the material is, if we join them together, the joining and configuration is permanent, is known as welding. Everyone know that if two metals we have, part A and part B, both are different. If we join them together, then the integrated body, last final body, is known as weld. So we have normally two types of welding. It's always permanent union, remember it. Rivet is also permanent, or before the welding we were rivets and rivet joints, etc. Those are also permanent. But here we have welding. Normally we have two kinds of welding: heating and with pressure, means fusion welding and pressure welding. In fusion welding, where we have to melt and create a weld pool or melt pool for a welding, is known as fusion welding. The pressure, where we need to pressurize the end and little bit near to melting point, then compress it, and with applying the pressure, the combination of that parts is known as pressure welding. So what is joint? For the combination of those welding, we normally need to welding. For performing that welding, we need some specific kind of joints. Means we have part A, part B. We need to weld it. How we need to weld it? First we will prepare some corner of this part and also this part. Then we start a welding. You can see here, this is the solid one. Then we start a welding from here to here. So this is known as joint. Before welding, whatever we prepare to perform the welding is known as joints. We have different kinds of joints. I will elaborate further. You can see here, this is part A, this is part B. If both parts are joined together with perpendicularly 90 degree, or we have the specific range of angles, I will show you further. This is known as perpendicular joint or T-joint. If the two parts joints together from the corner, means you can see here, this one, if I zoom it, this is part B, suppose this is part A. If we want to weld here, we have the corner. then this known as edge corner or edge joint. Then we have cruciform joint. Cruciform joints means this is a part A, more than two parts. If we need to weld, then the cruciform joint are we consider more than two parts. Like if we have part A, this is another part B, this is C. Now you can see here we need to weld with this corner, then we need to weld with this corner, means this boundary as well, this entire boundary inner side as well. This is known as cruciform joint, and it's normally considered where we need more reinforcement or for the sake of practice. Then we have butt weld. Butt weld, the welding which are in opposite direction, two pieces if are in opposite directions, then we need to perform a butt welding. I will show you the 3D picture for your better understanding. Then we have the lap joint. If both parts, part A and parts B, overlapped each other, then this kind of welding is considered as a lap joint. Same, then we have corner joint. If both bodies of the welding which needs to weld join together from their corners A and B, from first ending point, second starting point, this is ending point, starting point, or both starting point or both ending point, whatever, where the corners mated, here's we will perform the welding. This is known as corner joint. Then we have square edge joint. If the joint is square, and if the joint, this is close square, means normally used in the thin metals. This is open square, which we have more thickness, then we need to make an open square weld. You can see in the 3D form. Here you can see this is plate A, this is B. This kind of joint, as you know from its geometry, it's like a J. That's why it is known as single J, means J. Now if I combine two J joints, means at plate 1 and plate B, then you can see here this is like a U joint. So this is U joint, where two J's combined together, it's called U joint. I hope you clear it. These are very simple terms. Then we have single bevel. Consider single and double. Wherever you have one face plate is same perpendicular, no joint, the other plate have some joint, is known as single. If you have J, then it's known as single J. If you have V, single V, then you have means V is completely like here, that's why it's called V. If this is single, then it's known as single bevel. Remember this one. Here we have no joint, but at B plate we have joint, then it's known as single bevel. If we combine two bevels, then it become a single V. I believe you got it. The next we have double-sided butt welds. So single J, double J, this was the joint configuration. Now the side configuration means same J joint but from both end of the plate. Like if we have normally 25 to 30 millimeter or about 25 millimeter, 50 millimeter plate thickness, then we can't prepare the single side joints, then we need double sided joints. That's why according to configuration or the welding requirement, we need to prepare a welding joint. If we prepare both ends, then it's known as double joint. And the type of joint, if it's J joint, then it's known as double J. If it is U joint, same as for if we combine the two J's, known as U. And if it is at both sides, then it's known as double U. Same, if we have at one plate only bevel, then it's called double bevel. If we have both side V, then it's known as double V joints. We learn these terms: single J joint, single U joint means at one end, single bevel joint, single V joint, then multiply it with 2, single J, double J both sides, single U, double U, both sides, single bevel, double bevel, and single V, double V. I believe you got this idea. Now you can see here, suppose we have single V. This is the single V joint. In this joint you can see this is the bottom area. This area is known as root. The bottom where the plate is starting is known as root, and the gap between this is known as root gap, right? Root is actually if root is the basic of anything, that's why where the plate is starting it's known as root. So the gap between two plates A and B, the gap between two plates is called root gap. And you can see here, from this point to this point, from this point to this point we have also a gap, and from this point to that point we have a specific length which called root face. These are the terms which you need to understand. This gap, this height is known as root face, and this gap is called root gap. Then if we saw in the bevel, in the joint, from central portion, if we consider the half of the bevel is known as, half of the area angle is known as angle of bevel. Wherever you see the half portion, it will called bevel. Whenever you see the full portion of any joint, it's called included angle. Means all the angles are included here. You got this point? In single V, we understand the root gap, root face. If we share it in two parts, then the central part is called angle of bevel. If we completely consider the angle of the bevel of the joint is known as included angle. It was the term of angle single V butt weld. Now we have single U butt weld. Now you can see this is completely U, means double J is now known as U. You can see here same the root gap, the root face. Now see, in the J we have normally curve, right? The joint is like this. If I make here like this, now this will be the root gap, this will be the root face until here. Now some area from this point to specific this point where the curve is starting, means curve is not completely starting, but some area which is horizontal area is known as land, This is important point. You need to understand where the root radius started. Before that point till the corner of the root face, this horizontal place is known as land, means straight line normally is concept, and where the curvature started, this is known as root radius. Simple. Curve of the root gap is known as root radius. Then again we have the angle of bevel, this one half portion. If we consider entire portion is known as included angle. Then let's came in the single J, same central portion, half portion is angle of bevel. Then we have root radius. You see here this is the radius, but you can, if you see the two lines, this point and this point, this is the straight line and known as land. Red, follow the red one. This is the land, this is the root gap. You can see here this and that. Then we have the height of the root is known as root face. Okay, I believe this is interesting lecture for you. Same as for single bevel butt weld. This was J weld and that was butt weld. Okay. Now we have weld terminologies. How many kinds of welding we have? Normally we have fillet weld. See, if we have The welding at the corner of any two parts, normally in triangular shape, is known as fillet. If you see, the welding between two parts is normally known as butt weld. Fillet weld, where we normally have the triangular shape welding, is known as fillet weld. I will show you further. This is fillet weld. This is edge weld. We have two bodies here, this 1 and 2. So between this we have this welding is known as edge welding. Then we have compound welding. In compound welding, interestingly, you can see compound is the combination of butt weld plus fillet weld, right? So what is butt weld? As we studied, the butt weld is in between the plates. Whatever we do the welding is known as butt weld. You can see here, this portion is the butt weld, but that portion is fillet weld. Combination of butt and fillet is known as compound welding. Then we have simply butt welding. Then we have plug welding. Plug welding, if we want to make two bodies joint, if you see here, if I consider this is body 1, this is body 2, I want to weld both bodies with plug welding, then I need to make a hole in both bodies, some area body 1 and some area body 2. Then I need to welding inside the hole. That's known as plug welding. Wherever we have need to make a hole is known as plug welding. Then we only weld this portion, not that portion. Then we have spot welding. Spot welding is just a spot, and it's normally done with the brazing, or if you use the jugs, water jugs at your homes, the handle of water jugs normally done with the spot welding. Please experience at your home as well. Okay, then we have the butt welding, fillet welding and compound welding in 3D form. Here you can see this is the butt welding, that is the fillet welding, triangular, almost triangular shape. If we are using, this is the T-joint fillet weld. That is a compound welding, means two portions are fillet weld, this one, that one, and this portion is butt weld, means between the body of the plates. If we weld, this is butt weld. So combination of both is compound welding. Okay, clear? You can clear also here. Fillet weld, butt weld only that area, fillet weld outside area, compound weld inner and outer area. Fillet weld lap joint. Now you can see that was the butt joint and the T joint. Now you can see lap joint. If both bodies overlap to each other and we weld it triangular shape, it's known as fillet welded lap joint. We need to weld in both sides. Then if we need only the spot one side, only spot welding, means at just a spot, it's known as weld spot lap joint. Then we have compound welded lap joint. And compound welded lap joint, it could be with compound of spot, it could be a butt weld and lap joint, fillet weld. So here we have two fillet welds and one spot weld. The combination of both is also known as compound weld. Okay, same. Now this is welding terminologies in butt welding, which we already elaborated. This actual picture you can see here. This is almost the area of welding. Okay, this is the weld metal. Whatever we have welded, that's known as weld metal. Actual area is this, where we need to welding as for our design. Top surface is called face, weld face, and bottom is called root. Now all the corners of the welding, like A, B, C, D, all the corners, either it's from top side or bottom side, are known as toes, weld toes, right? And if we are welding here, now focus this area. If we are welding here from start to bottom, sorry, okay, if we are welding here, then due to heat input, some of the surrounding neighboring body of the weld metal will also got heat up. Means we are only operating the electrode welding here, but because due to conduction phenomena, some of the neighboring area will also got affected from all sides wherever we will do the welding. That's why this area is called as haze, H-A-Z, haze, until this is the welding boundary, that is the extreme outside. This area is called heat affected zone. Means this area is being affected by the welding heat. Due to that heat, some metallurgical properties could change of the weld metal or the body, entire body. So heat affected zone is very important term. I will explain you further regarding the heat affecting zone, how it can be heat and what are the further division in haze. Face, all the corners are toes, bottom is root, this is the weld area, the surrounding which are affecting due to welding is called haze, heat affecting zone. Now you can see here, as per our design, until now, until here, means this is the actual plate, until here we need the welding, but during welding some excessive area also got welded, so it's called excessive gap height or excessive weld metal, which is more from the actual height. If I mention the equation here, excessive welding is equal to design welding plus excessive weld. Here we can say actual weld. So actual weld is this, from that point to here. Design welding up to here from root plus excessive welding is known as actual weld. For examination point of view, this is important. Suppose in equation he gave you the design length or design height of weld is 12 millimeter, the excessive height is 5 millimeter or 3 millimeters, then calculate the actual height of weld. Then you can simply add. Even he can also give you the actual height is this, the excessive weld metal is this, calculate the design, simply subtract this from that equation. This is very simple question, but it is important. Then we have bottom side. Here you can see up to here we need the welding, but if the welding go beyond this boundary, then it's known as excessive root penetration. Penetration is actually to penetrate or deposit the weld metal in the joint. Then if the deposit material go over the boundary, it's called excessive root gap. Same, the width of the entire weld is known as weld width. You can see here haze, heat affected zone. This is the actual welding which required, right? Now this phenomena occurred at both sides. We got the cross section area, that's where it's showing here at one side. The ending portion of the welding where is denoting or showing in the yellow color, this is the fusion boundary. Okay, fusion boundary means this area will completely fused, melt and joints. Where the fusion is ending, this is fusion boundary. From that area to outside till here, this is our haze, heat affected zone. Now for examination point of view, please note down all the points at your copy, because I explain with the lecture which points are or which questions are important in exams, so you need to watch the entire video, and every minute of this video is important, and also note down the important points. Now I called you haze. Haze area is the area which can affect from actual welding, and metallurgical effects can be changed. In paper you can say in haze area what could be the occur, metallurgical effects change, or welding could be crack, or heat metal could be deposit, etc. Then simply click on the metallurgical changing. So, and also he can say the which boundary differentiate the haze area and the weld metal area. Then you can say fusion boundary, this is fusion line. Now you can see here this line is going here dotted, follow this line, solid liquid boundary or fusion boundary. Okay, then from this area solid fusion bond liquid boundary to that area that is almost close, this one is grain growth zone. What is grain? Grain is actually the particles or the atom of any metal, grain. So with the heat the grain, suppose before that different grains, if we made different grains, then it become a plate. If the grain size is like 1 millimeter before, for example, due to heat it become 1.2 millimeter. So the extension of this 0.2 is just due to heat which occurred in the heat affecting zone due to weld metal. So first problem is due to heat the grain growth zone, grain growth size could increase. This is also examination point of view. In the initial area, what increase normally, the grain or entire plate or expansion of joint or whatever, we can simply click on the grain size. Then we have from grain size to next area is known as recrystallized zone. Recrystallize, every particle in the universe normally made with crystallization, like different items normally made A, B, C, D. So this is A, this is B, C, D. Recrystallize, they will relocate their positions. This will become here, this will become here, this will become here. Like this is the microscopic changing, we can't see with the naked eye. If we want to see, then we use to microscope. So if the crystals change their location is known as recrystallized zone. They can also be examination point of view, this question could be in recrystallized zone what happened, grain growth size increased, liquid particles can be entrapped, or crystals can be change their location or recrystallized, or none of these, simply tick here. Then we have partially transformed zone, little bit temperature could be transferred here. Then we have tempered zone, there is no effect eventually, but there is some tempering or some heat up zone. I believe you got the haze concept, heat affecting zone. I repeat it once again, maximum temperature is here. Then we have solid metal, weld metal up to here. This is the line of solid liquid boundary line. This is the grain growth line. This is the recrystallized zone. That one is the partially transformed zone, little bit temperature partial. This is the tempered zone final. I got your point, and I believe you also got my point. Then you have toe blend, like we have already discussed. This is the actual design welding. If you have excessive metal, like we have excessive weld, have the specific tolerance. If in the drawing he mentioned 3 millimeter excessive welding, then actual suppose 8, then we can simply 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. Till 11 millimeter it's acceptable. If it's beyond the 11 millimeter, then it will be rejected. Like you can see, this is the 80 degree almost angle and 6 millimeter height, as compared to this toe. If we see this one, this is 20 degree only and 3 millimeter height, then this toe is acceptable, that will be rejectable, because this is pore weld toe blend angle and height. So we need to consider the drawing and formula as well. I will let you know the formula how we need to calculate the toe blend, throat thickness and height. You can see here, if this situation occurred, then residual stresses can generate, the crack chances will enhanced. Additionally, the weld metal will waste. Then we need to grind this area up to there, means 3 millimeter and 20 degree. That's why we need to educate our welders. Before welding, we need a specific angle and the thickness as well. These are all things normally mentioned on the drawing as well as WPS, if the WPS is specifically for that job. 20 to 30 degrees normally acceptable. This is also examination point of view, how much the angle of weld toe is acceptable, 20 to 30 degree. Okay, I hope you enjoying the lecture. If you are enjoying, and it's requested and reminding you again to subscribe my channel, click the bell icon, and if you have any query, then you can simply ask in the comment box. I will respond you back. And please share with your colleagues and the groups of the technical people. They can also get benefit from this job. Okay, then we have fillet weld toe blends. You can see this is fillet weld, ideal fillet weld. If we have the fillet weld up to here, then one bead cross this one, then this is not okay. This one is also zigzag, this is also not acceptable. So fillet weld should be, the toe points of both ends should be blended with the parent metal. This is the parent metal. You can see here, this is completely blended. Blended means smooth from both ends. If it's smooth, then and symmetry body, then the fillet weld is acceptable. Then we have three types of fillet weld. One is meter weld. Meter weld means this is our parent body, right? If the welding is smooth at specific angle, there is no convex or concave or angular movement, it's straight, it's known as meter fillet. If we have concave type, concave and convex means, you see the concave mirror like this, the curvature is bottom side, convex the opposite side, right? Remember this, don't get confused with concave and convex. You can see here, if the body is concave and smoothly blended at the both ends of the toe, then it's called concave fillet. And this is the most important and most ideal and realistic welding which normally used in the industries. This is very important point and normally came in the exam. Which fillet weld preferred to be performed in the joints? Then simply ask them to concave fillet weld. Or the question could be, which joint normally preferred for fatigue loading? This is fatigue loading. You know, fatigue is actually if cyclic load we have, again and again load is coming, then the welding crack could be crack. To prevent this problem, we need to blend the edges of the welding. These blended edges could mitigate or eliminate the excessive distortion or the excessive vibration or fatigue problem. That's why this welding in that circumstance become ideal. So conclusion is, in fatigue loading, fatigue cycling, this kind of concave fillet preferred. Again, fatigue cycling means like if we have a cycle or motorcycle, right? We have wheels. From one portion of the wheel there is little bit distortion, or again and again that wheels cross their specific point. If on that point, if we perform this kind of welding or meter welding, then the welding could be crack. If we perform the concave fillet on that point, then it will bear the fatigue loading, that is cyclic loading, repeated loading, right? Remember this one, fatigue loading, concave fillet is important. Then we have convex fillet. Convex is if the throat thickness are the excessive and outside this known as convex fillet. Okay, now let's discuss the welding length, leg length. Leg is actually from root to toe. Distance from root to toe is called leg length. Normally, a lot of guys and a lot of candidates confused from the leg length and the throat thickness. I will elaborate you and you will never forget. Root to toe is called leg length. Either it's horizontal or vertical. You can see A is horizontal, vertical leg length, B is horizontal leg length, right? And this leg length is approximately equal to the material thickness. Like if this is the material thickness 20 millimeter, so preferred leg length from horizontal and vertical also 20 millimeter. Remember this point as well. Then we have throat thickness. From root to central portion welding, where the welding is maximum occurred in known as throat thickness. This is throat. You can see the red dotted line is design throat thickness, as I already explained to you this one. And because the welding is actually up to here, then this is excessive weld metal. This is excessive welding. If we want to calculate the actual throat thickness, then design throat thickness plus excessive weld metal is actual throat thickness. We have two terms, leg length from root to toe, either it's horizontal or vertical. From root to welding central portion, it's called throat thickness. One is design throat thickness, the second one is actual throat thickness. Okay, you can also elaborate. See here, this is the design throat thickness, denominate with A. This is the actual throat thickness, means excessive welding also included here. Then we have A plus B is equal to actual throat thickness. Now here we have the question. This question normally must the part of every exams. So remember this one. And normally the people considered and forget the sequence of the formula. Like if we want to calculate design throat thickness, this is the design throat thickness up to here. Then the formula is 0.7 multiplied by leg length, means 0.7 multiplied by leg length up to here and here, right? Means if I show you the leg length is 14 millimeter, what is the design throat? Simply multiply this 14 with 0.7, the 10 millimeter will become the throat thickness. Don't be confused. Leg length given, we simply multiply this factor 0.7, then we have design leg length, design throat thickness. If the question is calculate the actual throat thickness and the excessive weld metal is 2 millimeters, suppose, then we have leg length, we have 0.7 factor. First we need to calculate the design throat thickness. After design throat thickness, simply plus 2 millimeter. We suppose this is same case and I want to calculate here the actual throat thickness. Then you can see 10 plus 2 is equal to 12. I believe this is okay for you, and this is very important question. Both kind of question normally the part of final exam. Okay, now the confusion is if we have given the throat thickness and we want to calculate the leg length, then we need to multiply with 1.4. A lot of people confuse, either we need to multiply 1.4 with leg length or throat thickness. I simply gave you a clue, like if you are fighting with someone, this is interesting clue. If you are fighting with someone, first you will speak loudly from your throat. Stop it, right? Throat is the first action. means thought is the first action. It means you are less hyper at that time. If you are less hyper, it means the factor is 0.7. Interesting, na? I believe you will not remember in future. Thought is the first action, then you need to multiply with 0.7. If he will not convince from you, then you will simply kick him with leg, right? It's interesting, I believe. Then you will simply kick him with leg, and leg, for leg you need more force, means double force. That's why you need multiply by 2, 1.4 times double force. So leg length, whenever you want to calculate the leg length, you need to multiply 1.4 and throat thickness, right? This one is the throat thickness, then you will multiply 1.4, that is the actual leg length. In conclusion, throat is debate, and debate is the first step of your fight. For that you need to less consume energy, that's why you need to multiply the leg length with 0.7. If the fight beyond the limits, then you simply kick him out and 1.5 times multiply it. That's why if you want to calculate the leg length, multiply 1.54, sorry. Okay. Throat thickness, where we need to consider the throat thickness. This is also an important point. Throat thickness is smaller if the angle of two plates, 1, 2, in between we have welding, and if the angle is more than 120 degree, like here we have 120, but if the throat thickness became here, then the overall thickness becomes smaller here, like 130 degree. If we do this welding same for 130 degree, then the more or less throat thickness become here. This is smaller than that one. The ultimate limit is 120 degree. This is also need to remember how much, where the throat thickness become smaller, that is more than 120 degree or less than 60 degree. Less than 60 degree, how? Suppose up to here we have this throat thickness, and if I reduce the angle of part B and became here, then I need to do the welding up to this kind of welding up to here. You see that one from root to this point, that was the initial throat thickness. Now by reducing the angle, that is the actual throat thickness. Now the throat thickness increase if we decrease the angle of plate B or the weld metals from 60 degree. I hope you got this point. This is also examination point of view, important point. More than 120 degree, throat thickness is smaller. Less than 60 degree, throat thickness is larger or more. Okay. You don't need to remember these points. These are actually fusion phases welding. If we factor 60 to 90 degree, then we need to multiply with 0.7. You remember throat thickness 0.7 multiplied with throat thickness is equal to leg length. You want to say if the angle of the weld is 60 to 90 degree, then we need to multiply it with 0.7. If the angle of that weld metal is 91 to 100 degree, then 0.65. I just show you just a moment. Here you can see this is the angle 90 degree. That's why we multiply it with 0.7. If he extend the angle 95 to 100, 100 to 120, 106, 106 to 110, 110 to 120, up to 120, different factors he gave us in this table. Now you can see 60 to 90.7, 91 to 100.65, 101 to 106.6, 106 to 113.55, 114 to 120.5. And in paper he can also give you a trick that we have two metals 1 and 2 and both angle is like the angle between both plate is 108 degree. Now this is conceptual point. Angle is 108 degree. The throat thickness is like 12 millimeter. Calculate the leg length. Leg length means from this point to that point, leg length. Remember, he imposed the condition now. If he don't give us condition, then we can simply multiply 12 multiply by 0.7. The answer will be the leg length. But he is giving us now the condition 108 degree. Check. 108 degree is lying in this table, in this row. 107 to 113. 108 is here. Now we need to multiply this throat thickness with 0.55. Right? Then you will have a leg length. This is very conceptual point. If the angle he gave you condition of 105 degree, then you need to multiply it 0.6. If the angle is between 91 to 100 or 95, 96 degree, then you need to multiply it with 0.65. Or if the angle is 90 degree, or he said isosceles triangle or perpendicular triangle, then the angle is 90 degree automatically, then you need to multiply it 0.7. I hope you got this point. But in normal condition, they know the C-SWIP guys are not expert in the mathematics, so they don't give you the condition or impose the condition, but you should have to remember this one. The other thing is, which fillet weld is ideal. You can see here the leg length and the toe are almost same and equal. This looks more ideal. The welding distribution is also equal and symmetry. 4 millimeter height, 4 millimeter horizontal leg length, vertical leg length. It means this is ideal leg length. Sorry, ideal weld, fillet weld. And if you can see from toe to one joint, this is horizontal leg length only 2 millimeter, but the other one is 8 millimeter. This is like a ship. So this is weak welding. If in the question he said that we have two joints, one joint leg length or symmetry are equal, the other joint have asymmetry leg length, means if you don't mention the any value, asymmetry if you mention, it means that asymmetry means both leg length are different. Which joint is stronger? Then simply click on the symmetry joint, means both leg length are same. Okay, now if you want to calculate the cross section area of the weld joint, how much the cross section, then you can simply, we have the formula, rectangular cross section area formula, we have length into width if we want to calculate the area. And now if we have the half rectangle, you can see here up to half, I can say this become the triangle, right? If this become the triangle, then length into width over 2, simply divided it 2, then this will be the area of triangle. You can also see this is also triangle, right? This is also triangle. So simply length into width by 2. You can see here 4 into 4 by 2 is 8 millimeter. And if you consider this one, 6 into 6, 36 by 2, 18 millimeter. So the question could be, you have two shape, length and width given. You want to set which have the more cross section area. Simply you multiply and divide it by 2, whatever the value is more, that will be the more cross section area. You can see here he can also give you CSA, cross section area. It stands for cross section area, don't be confused. Okay, right. Then we have effective throat thickness, nominal throat thickness A. Okay, up to here nominal throat thickness. Then we have effective throat thickness. Okay, effective throat thickness means this throat thickness is more effective. Why it's more effective? This is for your this is your question. You need to understand why this throat thickness is more effective. Then mention in the comment box. I will see your comments and respond you finally. This is very basic and conceptual. I give you the clue or hint. From base, this is the welding, but this is under the base, means little bit what you have to mention in comments. I will wait your response in the comments. Okay, then we have bevel angle. If we have good bevel angle, this bevel angle good, root gap good, then from penetration till side welding, every welding will be okay. There will be no problem, lack of diffusion, there will be no lack of diffusion, and root penetration will also be fine. I will discuss the imperfection of welding in chapter 3. In next lesson you will see what are the imperfections and how we can eliminate these imperfections. So if the bevel angle is okay and proper, then there is no problem. Alright, you can see here, this is very interesting point. Root face. You remember I mentioned the vertical distance is root face. Now there is specific range of every kind of joint with its angle, how much the root face is allowed. If the root face will small, like we need root face 5 mm, but the actual root face is 2 mm, it means the vertical gap is small. Due to that gap, imagine we are doing the welding with this electrode and heat input is here. Root face is small, then this will be more pressure on the arc or flame. It will try to go outside, right? If it is try to go outside, this defect is known as burn through. This is important point. Burn through means burn go out from the boundary, throughout. Why it's go throughout? Because the root face was too small. Actual was 5, now design was 5, actual is 2. It means this is less than design. So it will create a pressure and flame will try to go outside. This is known as burn through. In the question they normally put, if the root face is small, then which defect could occur? Lack of penetration, lack of problem, etc. Remember, if the root face is small, then burn through could occur. But if the root face is too large, right, you can see here, if the root face like up to here required, but root face is up to here, then weld metal will not penetrate it till the bottom. Suppose 5 mm we required, but actual is 10 mm or 7 mm. So this electrode cannot be penetrate the weld metal up to the base root penetration. So if the root gap is large, root face is large, then it will be a lack of penetration. This is also important point. I summarized it. If the root face is small, very small, then burn through. If the root face is large, more than the design value, then lack of penetration. Welding will not be melted properly, and design in the radiography or the MDT, there will be a problem, there will be a defect. So consider both things. Now, okay. I talked about first root face. Now I am talking about root gap. You can see here with your common sense, if you have less root gap, what could be happen? Here you can see, if you have very narrow, less root gap, then lack of penetration will not properly. But if you have more root gap, means more area where the burn electrode can easily pass, flame can easily go through outside, then it's become burn through. Again, lack too large. Now compare both things. If the root face too large, then lack of penetration. If the root gap too large, then burn through, right? And both are vice versa. If the root face too large, lack of penetration. If the root gap too large, burn through. Got it? Means if there is too much gap, then definitely it will go easily beyond the limits, so burn through will occur. This is very important point. Sometime he will give you in the exam. If you have a large gap more than the design limit, then which defect could occur? Burn through could occur, not lack of penetration. But if the root face is too large, and that's called lack of penetration. And if the root gap too small, then it's also lack of penetration. So these are 4 definitions. I hope you got it. Okay, now see this drawing for a while. Okay, I hope this lecture is interesting for you and quite knowledgeable. You can see here, whatever we discussed now, suppose the bevel angle is 30 to 35 degree. Half is the bevel angle, full will be the included angle. How much? 60 to 70 degree, simple. So the angle of the butt angle, butt weld normally 60 to 70 degree, normally considered as 70. The half is 35. This is also according to our examination point of view. Root face, this one is the root face. This is normally 1.5 to 2.5 millimeter. Remember this one. And root gap 2 to 4 millimeter root gap. Now I will summarize the previous one. Consider it. This is the design value, root face. If the root face is 0.5, what will happen? Less root face, means pressure will more, burn through will occur, right? If it is more than 2.5, it means the height is more than lack of penetration. Now came to root face, root gap. If the root gap is 1 millimeter, less than 2, then burn through, means gap is less. If the gap is more than 4 millimeter, like 6 millimeter, then what could be happen? Sorry, I forgot. If the less root gap, okay, lack of penetration. If more root gap means 6 millimeter, then definitely it will be burn through. More burn through and less root gap is penetration. Okay, let's discuss the J belt. J design for MMA is manual metal arc welding. This is also known as SMA. In chapter 13, I believe, or 11, we will discuss this. SMA, Gata, Gamma, Sa, Pa. These are Sa, Gamma, Pa. Huh? But these are the abbreviations: submerged arc welding, manual metal arc welding, Gata, gas tungsten arc welding, etc. We will discuss briefly in that chapter. So, welding pipe, J normally 35, and if we have these are the asymmetry. So gap should be on both sides, should be symmetrical, means if the bevel angle is 35, here should also be 35 degree. But you can see this is both 35, no doubt. This angle is starting from here 35. But if it started from land, after finishing the land, this is the land area finish, then the angle is 12.5, 12 to 15. This is only for your information. You can see here, if we have double V, right, 55 degree angle is, then this gap is 6 millimeter. For mechanical GMAW welding, this is 5 degree. This is not examination point of view, but you have to remember. But remember the angle of bevels I will describe later like this. The angle of bevel V shape should be 30 to 35 degree, and the root gap should be this. Root face should be this. Okay. Weld process. You can see here I will repeatedly give you the overview. Here we cannot weld, that's welds cross. For welding we need to like this, we need to prepare the joint like this. Same as for MMA, if we are welding MMA, this root gap should be this. All the positions means proper joint positions here. Main thing is here you can see if we have the two legs of any plate, then we need to first weld both sides, then we need to first outside butt weld. We cannot weld from inside. You can see here we cannot enter the welding electrode. That's why he showed the cross here. Inside we cannot weld. One side we need to complete, then second side from one edge we have to finish. Same as for the plug welding for the J-type and the sleeves. These are just for your information. Same thing is we cannot weld all symmetry because this will be lock. First we need to weld here, 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 then from outside only. Same as for the overlapping, we can weld here but we cannot weld this side. That's why we need to upper portion should be down, then we can easily weld from both sides. This is just for your information. Okay. Axis impact on weld penetration should be if the wall thickness is up to 3 mm. If the wall thickness then up to 3 mm, then we have square joint. If the wall thickness is 3 to 20 mm, then we need to make a weld joint V bevel, V angle. If over the 20 mm, then we need U joint. This is important for examination point of view. If the wall thickness of the joint is 3 mm up to 3 mm, then square joint. If 3 to 20, then V joint. If over 20, then U joint. Now we have the corner joint, again in close corners. This is open end, means both ends are at each other, then it's open ended. If some end overlap to other end, that's called offset or closed end. Okay. And here we have less chances of burn through because we don't have gap. Here we have more chances of burn through. So this question could be burn through can occur at corner, which corner joint, open end or closed end. So at open end we burn through chances are more. Okay. Bevel angle of joints. If we have 30 degree bevel angle, then included angle will be 60. If we have bevel angle 50, then how much the included angle? It's your question. Please mention in the comment box. I believe you understand it. Same as for the, if we have steel, then we need a bevel angle 30 and included angle 60. If we have aluminium up to 20 mm, this is conditional up to 20 mm, then we need a bevel angle from 35 to 45 and included angle 70 to 90. You don't need to remember each and every angle, just understand it. I will let you know which points are important. The above I mentioned the angles of V, U and corner and square angle, just remember those. If the plate thickness is less than 3 mm, if the plate thickness is still 20 mm, which angle? If the plate thickness is over 20, then U shape and what will be the angle? I already explained to you. This is also the V angle. If the V angle is too wide, then shrinkage could be here. from both ends shrinkage can occur. If the too low, then also shrinkage. So we need to proper gap and proper thickness and etc. Reduce the root gap. So this is too much gap, then we need to reduce it properly. The angle is too much, we need to proper prepare the angle. Excessive root gap and angle could make a problem. You can also see if we have the more thickness, then the angle should proper. If we have over 20, then we need double V instead of single V. Double V is required. Double V or double V. Same, this is the phenomena. If we have more thickness, then normally 2/3 one side, 2/3, 1/3 other side. Like this is 1/3, that side is 2/3. The central, when we perform the welding, after root we need to check and we need to back gauging. What is back gauging? I will explain you next lecture. So then we need to welding and divide. Then what will be the result? Some forces will occur at this side and other forces will occur at this side. Overall the geometry will be same. Okay, regarding the welding position, I want to hold it here, and the welding position I will make a separate video because the welding position are important. I believe this lecture already elongated and very lengthy, so welding position I will prepare the lecture and upload at my YouTube channel for your better understanding. I believe you got my point and all the chapter is understand. Just a moment. I'm just going to give you 2 minutes overview whatever we have learned in 3D. Butt weld, T-weld, corner weld, edge weld. Here the angle mentioned 30 to 135, 5 to 90 degree butt weld, corner weld this, edge weld 0 to 30. Remember these angles. Now you can see type of weld: butt weld, fillet weld. In butt weld we have single butt weld, a T-butt weld, corner butt weld. Then we have slot plug welding, you remember. Then we have, this is also plug welding. This is slot welding. If we make a slot inside, the plug welding is to make a hole. Full penetration. If the penetration is up to there, then it's called full penetration. If the penetration is less, then it's not completely full penetration. If full penetration, it's also called complete joint penetration. For examination point of view, this is also important point. Then we have partial joint penetration, PJP, means here we have the starting point of root is this, then we have the partial penetration, not complete penetration. Type of joint, to see the type of joint, go through the 15607 ISO. I will also make a video for all codes and standards. You can follow that video. Then we have homogeneous, heterogeneous. Homogeneous, if the mechanical properties and chemical properties of material A, B are 1, 2 and weld metal electrode are same, then it's known as homogeneous, means same. If the material are different, then it's called heterogeneous. And if all the materials are different, means weld metal are different and electrode are different, that's dissimilar or transition material. I believe you got it. Parent material or parent metal, as I already, the metal which needs to be welded is known as parent. Fillet metal, weld metal where we need to welding, haze, heat effective zone, fusion line. You remember the yellow line which differentiate the weld metal and the affected zone is called fusion line. Weld zone where we were welding, means this is the weld zone. Weld zone is normally containing the entire area. Weld metal plus heat affected zone is known as weld zone, completely up to there. Then we have root, bottom side of the weld. Then we have toe, the corners of the weld. Then we have excessive welding. From the actual welding, we have design welding, we have some extra welding that's known as excessive welding. You can see also here, this is a 3D picture. This is weld metal, is parent metal, weld face, weld zone, weld metal plus excessive area is known as weld zone. These are the toes, corners. This is the root. Okay, this is the fusion line or fusion boundary. In case of fillet weld, we have parent metal, we have weld metal, root, face plate, etc. All those things I have already explained to you. Weld penetration, I already said you, V preparation, U preparation. These are the angles, are not very important, but you have to remember these angles. Included angle, all the angle, root face, bottom area, gap, 2 gaps, root radius, and where the land finished land, where the root face means horizontal portion before the radius. You can see here open butt weld, angle bevel, root face, root gap, single V, double V, U preparation, bevel angle, root radius, land, double U. Okay, V with backing strip. Normally this is the V angle. If we are afraid that root gap is too much and burn through can occur, then normally the backing strip first welded behind the parent metal, then we weld will start here, then the burn through chances will be reduced, completely reduced. It could also the question, if we install the backing plate behind the parent metal, then which chances got reduced? Burn through chances got reduced. Alright. Single V preparation, single bevel, double V, right? Single J, double J, size of butt weld. This is the actual throat thickness. This is the design throat thickness. This is the excessive material. Okay. Then we have root or run. This is the starting point. The first layer, first pass which we do with our electrode, welding electrode, is called root. If we have multiple passes in different lines or layers are called layer. Okay. If we have multiple passes, more runs, more than one runs, one bead, welding bead is called run or pass. If we have more than one run, multiple passes are called layer. Single side weld, double side weld, fillet weld, actual throat thickness, design throat thickness, I already explained to you. This is the leg length, horizontal and vertical. This is the throat thickness. This is the actual throat thickness. This is the formula. Meter fillet weld and convex fillet weld and meter fillet weld have same formula. 0.707 or only 0.7 into Z. Now A is leg length, Z is A is throat thickness, Z is leg length. Means A throat thickness means first we will discuss from the throat to speaking. The starting is A, value is 0.7, then push and kick out with the leg length, then Z is the final and 1.4. Same you can see here, A is throat thickness, Z is leg length. Excessive metal, convex, concave, convex. Deep penetration fillet weld means the weld which access the root is called deep penetration. Compound butt plus fillet. This is the edge. This is the weld rotation. I will give you this lesson again as I said to you. So here we are going to end the lesson. I hope you like my video. And waving, if we are welding with a waveform, means like this. This called welding. It need more deposit material, more time, but strong, right? So I believe you enjoy my lecture. At the end, I would like to request you to share my video and subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon, and I support you because this is very precious series and anybody can get benefit from it. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.